Hi friends, I am Rajesh Poddar, and in this video we will discuss the 17th chapter, namely the Seduction of Pessimism, from the book The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel.
In this chapter, Housel attempts to explain the reasons that are responsible for making pessimism easier, more common, and more persuasive as compared to optimism. Optimism is a view that the odds of a good outcome are in our favor over time, even if there will be setbacks along the road. Whereas pessimism is a tendency to see the worst side of things or believe that the worst will happen. Housel says optimism sounds like a sales pitch, whereas pessimism sounds like someone trying to help us. If we tell somebody that everything is going to be fine, they are likely to dismiss us. Instead, if we inform someone they are in danger, we will have their undivided attention. There are few reasons for the same. Firstly, money is omnipresent, so a mishap tends to affect everyone and captures everyone's attention. Money and health are two topics that will affect our life whether we are interested in them or not. While health issues tend to be individual, money issues are more systemic. In connected system where one person's decision can affect everyone else, it's understandable why financial risks gain a spotlight and capture attention in a way few other topics can. Stocks rising 1% are briefly mentioned in the news, but a 1% fall will be reported in bold, all caps letters, usually written in blood red. And while few question or try to explain why the market went up, there is almost always an attempt to explain why it went down. The second point is that pessimists often extrapolate present trends without accounting for how markets adapt. There is an iron law in economics which says that extremely good and extremely bad circumstances rarely stay that way for long because supply and demand adapt in hard to predict ways. Assuming that something ugly will stay ugly is an easy and persuasive forecast to make because it doesn't require imagining the world changing. But problems get corrected and people adapt accordingly. Threats incentivize solutions of equal magnitude. That's a common plot of economic history that is too easily forgotten by pessimists who forecast in straight lines. Thirdly, progress happens too slowly to notice, but setbacks happen too quickly to ignore. Housel says that growth is driven by compounding, which always takes time, while destruction is driven by single points of failure, which can happen in seconds. That's why there are lots of overnight tragedies, but rarely do overnight miracles take place. For example, in business, it takes years to realize how important a product or company is, but failures can happen overnight. And in stock markets, where a 40% decline that takes in 6 months will draw congressional investigations, but a 140% gain that takes place over 6 years can go virtually unnoticed. Pessimism reduces expectations, narrowing the gap between possible outcomes and outcomes we feel great about. Maybe that's why it's so seductive. Expecting things to be bad is the best way to be pleasantly surprised when they are not, which ironically is something we should be optimistic about. So the key takeaways from the chapter are: optimism sounds like a sales pitch, whereas pessimism sounds like someone trying to help us. Money is omnipresent, so something bad happening tends to affect everyone and captures everyone's attention. Pessimists often extrapolate present trends without accounting for how markets adapt. Progress happens too slowly to notice, but setbacks happen too quickly to ignore. Expecting things to be bad is the best way to be pleasantly surprised when they are not.
So friends, with this we come to the end of this chapter. Stay tuned for the next video. Thank you.